Hello guys, welcome to yet another tutorial by nitahcrochets. My name is Anita. Please subscribe. So today we are making this monochromatic mesh dress. I called it Belinda. So I've written a pattern for this dress, and the pattern has sizes medium, large and small. Okay, this tutorial rather is going to be of a size medium. Okay, but I have told you where to make adjustments if you're making for other sizes. I want to be very grateful to all those that keep purchasing my patterns via my shops, and for all those that send me super thanks or buy me coffees via my coffee shop. I'm really super grateful. Also, I have learned that most of you sometimes want to send us cool stuff, and I have managed to leave my address in the description box just in case anyone would love to send me anything in line with what I do. I will be very grateful receiving it. Back to that tutorial. The materials we shall need is a 4.5mm hook, size 2 yarn, tape measure, darning needle.
So this is the yarn I'm going to be working with. It is Robin. It's 100% acrylic. It's 50 grams in weight, and it is lightweight yarn. Okay, so I'm going to be doubling my strands, and I'm going to be working with a 4.5mm hook. So I really do advise that you work with this kind of yarn so that we double our strands to get that monochromatic effect, because it is the strands that are going to give us that. Okay, we are just going to keep interchanging the strands to get the effect. So first of all, I'm going to make a slip knot, and for the size I am working I am working a size medium in the tutorial. So for this size I am going to be chaining 19. Okay, so work 19 chains, and I'm going to get back once you have your 19 chains complete. Then I'll show you what to do.
Now once we have all chains complete, we are going to get into the third chain stitch from the hook, and we shall work a double crochet. So we are going to continue working one double crochet into every chain stitch until we have one chain stitch left to end our row. So go ahead, work one double crochet into the next 16. Yes, I think yes, 16. So the 17th is where we are going to meet, and then I show you what to do. So here we are into this very last chain stitch on the row. We are going to work 2 double crochets, and then I will chain 1 and then work again 2 double crochets, all in this very same stitch. So basically we are having 4 double crochets in this very same stitch. Now we are going to be working on the opposite side of our foundation chains. So we shall get into the very first chain stitch right there and work a double crochet, then work 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until we get back down. So make sure you have the very same number of stitches on your opposite side as you have on this other side. Okay, so I'm voicing this, and it is raining outside, so you may hear some sort of like noise, but I'm just going to be loud enough so you guys can hear me, because I promised I have to have this tutorial done, and I just need to make sure that I let it out. So yes, we are at the end of our row, and here I am going to chain 2 and turn my work, and I'm going to be working 1 double crochet into every stitch. So I'll go into my very first stitch, work a double crochet, and continue working 1 double crochet into every stitch until I get to the chain 1 space that I worked at the top of my work. And here we are at the top of our work. As you can see, this is the chain 1 space right there. So I'm going to get into it and work 2 double crochets, chain 1, work 2 double crochets once again, all in this very same stitch. So now I am going to work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and I'll continue working 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until I get to the end of my row. So once I'm at the end of my row, this is how your work should look like. Okay, now you guys are going to be working this very same thing I have done for this row for several rows until you have a breast cup that fits your size. Okay, for me personally, I am working I'm going to be working about 9 rows in total, so a size small should have like 6-7 rows. Okay, so this is how my breast cup looks like. That would fit my size, a size medium. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I made 8 rows. All right, so a size large should go all the way up to like 10, 11. A size small should have like 6, 7. So that's up to you. You can just make a breast cup that fits. Okay, now we are going to be working our strap. So I'm going to work several chains for my strap. I usually work about 100 because it's going to go all the way to the back. Work a crisscross at the back, and then tie to the ends of my dress, like the ends of where the underbust is going to start. Okay, that's where this strap is going to tie. So I usually work about 120 to 150 chains. Okay. So once you have the length of the strap that you want, we are going to get into the 4th chain stitch from the hook, and there we shall work a slip stitch. Just like that. And now I'm going to chain 3 and then skip 3 and work a slip stitch into the next stitch. Just like that. Chain 3, skip 3, work a slip stitch into the next stitch. Just like that. And I'm going to do this repeatedly for all the chains that I worked for my strap until I get back to the body of my breast cup. So let me meet you guys there, then I'll show you what to do next. And here our strap is complete, and that's how it looks like. I love the thickness because it can hold up even a size large boob. So we are going to be working along this edge, the bottom edge of our breast cup. So we shall get into the very first double crochet post and work a single crochet, then work a second single crochet into that very same post. So I want you guys to work 2 single crochets into every double crochet post. So I usually work mine in the middle of the post and then at the end or the bottom of that post. So you can work any way that you want. Okay, my baby is now starting to cry. Okay, so I'm just going to go a little bit fast. So just work these single crochets any way that you want, okay, until you get to the end of this edge. So I'll meet you guys there and then show you what to do next. And now this is it. This is how it looks like. Okay, so we are right here, and I'm now going to be working single crochets, but then I want you guys to first mark the stitch that is corresponding to the foundation chains. Okay, right there. So mark the stitch that is in line with that the foundation chains that we worked, so that you know where to stop, because this is where our row is going to end. Now chain 1, turn your work 1 single crochet into every stitch until you get to that marked stitch, until you like 2 stitches to the marked stitch or until you are 2 stitches to the stitch that is in line with the foundation chains that we worked. So if you look closely, this is where it is. Okay, I didn't mark mine, so we count 2 stitches to that, and I'm just going to work my single crochets into the next 2 stitches. Now you see that I have 2 stitches, the one that is in line and this other one. So into these 2 stitches I'm going to work 2 single crochets together, just like that. Okay, I am working this panel that I am going to be working is more like to give us extra grip, also coverage on the side of our boobs, so that it's not like peeping. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, skip the very first stitch and work a single crochet into the next stitch. So basically I am working a decrease, then continue with 1 single crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of my row. And this is how my work looks like. So I'll chain 1 and turn my work. Here I'm going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch until I have 2 stitches left to end my row. Okay, so work your single crochets until you have 2 stitches left to end your row, then I'll meet you guys there. And now that I have 2 stitches left to end my row, I'm going to work 2 single crochets together into the last 2 stitches, just like that. Okay, then I'll chain 1, turn my work. I'm going to skip the very first stitch and get into the second stitch and work a single crochet, then continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch until I come to the end of my row. So you guys are going to do this very same thing until you have 1 stitch left on your row. Okay, just keep working this kind of decrease, okay, until you have 1 stitch at the end of your row. Then I'll meet you guys there and show you what to do next. So here we are. This is how my breast cup looks like. And I want you guys to follow the very same steps to make your second breast cup, because I need 2 of these. Okay, so follow everything we have done from the start to this and then make 2 breast cups just like I do. Okay, and once you make your second breast cup, please don't cut your yarn, because now we are going to be working on the underbust just below these breast cups. Okay, so let me get back once you have that complete. Now for my underbust, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to be working along the bottom of my breast cup. So sorry, the edge of my breast cup. So I'll be working 1 single crochet into every single crochet post. You work 1 single crochet all the way until you get to the end of the single crochet posts. And once you get to the end of these single crochet posts, you will then continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way along this edge until the chain 1 space right there. So I'm going to meet you guys there. Now as you can see, I have my single crochets up to there. That's where, sorry, I haven't worked into the chain 1 space as yet, but then I've worked my single crochets. So I'm going to grab my left breast cup. Okay, and I'm going to work 2 single crochets together into the chain gap of the right breast cup and the chain gap of the left breast cup. Okay, just like that. So get in there, also pull through yarn and then pull yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So just make sure that this gap is not like loose, so you need to get tighter to make sure that you don't have that looseness. So once you have tightened your joint, you are going to resume with 1 single crochet into every chain gap, just like that. Sorry, into every stitch. Work 1 single crochet until you get to the end of this breast cup. Okay, work 1 single crochet in there, and also work 1 single crochet along the single crochet posts until the end right here. That's where I'm going to meet you guys. So here we are, this is it. So as you can see, I've worked my single crochets, and this is now how I start working my underbust. Okay, now here I am going to chain 5. 4 of the chains are going to act as a treble crochet, and then the other one is going to be for the chain gap. So chain 5 and then turn your work, skip. I said one of them is going to be a stitch, so it will cover up for the first stitch. Then you skip the next stitch, and into the third stitch you will work a treble crochet. Chain 1, yarn over twice, skip 1, work a treble crochet into the next stitch, just like that. So chain 1, skip 1, work a treble in the next stitch, and you're going to do this for all the stitches along this row. Okay, so do this repeatedly until you come to the end of your row, and it's not any different from what you're going to do for the next row. Even the next row, you will chain 5, turn your work, do the very same thing, skip 1, work a treble in the next, chain 1, skip 1, work a treble into the next, and you will do that for the next 4 rows. Okay, yes, for the next 4 rows, because I need 4 rows of just the treble mesh stitch, and then I'll meet you after you have those 4 rows complete and show you what to do. Okay, so just do this repeatedly until the end of your row, and do the very same thing for the next row, for the next rows. And now here we are. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, okay, of just the treble. Just like I told you guys, don't make any changes, just do the very same mesh kind of thing. So this is what I have, and this is how my work looks like. So the next row is going to have an increment so that we work chains for our waist. Okay, so just in case you want to be sure, or you are making adjustments for another size, you can just measure what you have right here and get to know how many chains you need to work to join these 2 pieces together, sorry, 2 ends together. Okay, so you just measure what you have and make sure that because we are not going to be working an increment around the hip area, so you just make sure that what you have here is in position to stretch out to get through your hips or your shoulders, wherever the dress is going to pass. Okay, so just make sure you have that calculation right, and then get to know what to do. Okay, but for those that are working this size with me, I'm going to tell you the number of stitches I worked. But if you're working for a smaller size or a larger size, you will need to purchase my pattern or just use your tape measure and get to know what to do exactly. Okay, and also for larger sizes, I expect that you have more rows of the mesh before you actually work your waist, because I believe you have more like a belly, you know, so to cover all that distance, all that length up, you need to work more rows. Okay, so now for the next row, I am going to chain 5, and into the very first stitch I am going to work a double crochet. Okay, just like that. So basically this is an increment, and it's more like a V, because I said 4 of the chains act as a stitch. And for the next, we are going to chain 1 and skip 1 and work a treble, chain 1, skip 1, work a treble into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a treble in the next. So do this for all the stitches until you get to the very last stitch, and that's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do. And here we are at the end of our row. So we need to make the increase that we worked when starting the row, as you can see. So to work that increment, this is what we shall do. Since we have already we have one stitch. Okay, we have like one chain gap to get to the end of our row, so we shall chain one and skip one, work treble into the fourth chain stitch of the 5 chains that started the previous row. Then again we shall chain one and work a treble into that very same stitch, so we have a V. Okay, now we are going to be working chains to get these ends together so that we create our waistline, and for my size I am going to have to chain 30 chains. Okay, so if you're working for a size small, you will have less chains than that, and if you're working for a size large, you will have less chains. So I just hope you use your tape measure and get to know where to make adjustments. So I'm sorry, I meant to say 29 chains, because if we work 30, we shall have one chain remaining because we're working with the mesh. Okay, so just take off one chain and make it 29 chains. All right, and for whichever chains that you work, make sure it's not an even number. So basically, if you are working for a size large and maybe you need like 40 chains, please work 39 instead of 40. Okay, so once you have that, you are going to get into the fourth chain stitch of the 5 that started the previous row and work a slip stitch, and then you will chain 5. Okay, now to start the next row, this is what we shall do. You will chain 5. This will act, 4 of the chains will act as a stitch. Then we shall skip the very first stitch on our chains and then work a treble into the next stitch, just like that. Okay, please, I told you, work any number that is non-divisible by 2. Okay, now here we are going to skip one and work a treble into the next. One of you will ask, why am I saying any number that is non-divisible by 2? That is because we already have one stitch on both ends, okay, to end the row. Okay, so if you work a number that is divisible by 2, meaning your last chain gap, you will need to skip 2 instead of skipping 1, because you will have one chain remaining. I hope that is clear. If it is not clear, please just try to make the error and see what I'm talking about. Okay, so once again, chain 1, skip 1, work a treble into the next stitch, and I'm going to do this for all my chain stitches and resume the very same pattern all the way around for all the chain gaps I already have on the previous row. So do that all the way around and get back and work a slip stitch into the 4th chain stitch of the 5 that I've started this row. Basically, we are going to just be working this mesh all the way for the length that we require for our dress. But just to explain to you guys how to get that monochromatic effect, we are going to have to change our strands. So if you work the next 4 rows with two orange strands, then you will work the next 4 rows with one orange strand and the other a yellow strand. Okay, and then the next 4 rows after that, you will have 2 yellow strands. Then after that, you will have 1 yellow strand and then 1 white strand. After that, then you will have 2 white strands. I hope I am clear. So just play around with the strands that you have. Keep interchanging them, because the truth is I worked with only 3 colors. That is orange, yellow, and white. So I just kept interchanging my strands. At the end of the tutorial, I'm going to show you guys a video that is closer to the strands, so you can see how I kept interchanging the strands that I had when I was working the rows of my dress. Okay, so as you can see, once you get to the end of your chain stitches, you are going to resume with chain 1, skip 1, work a treble into the next stitch. Okay, so you just do that all the way around and get back all the way around and get back and work a slip stitch into the 4th chain stitch that of the 5 chains that started the row. So just do this repeatedly and work your mesh rows all the way until you have the length of the dress that you desire. You can work maybe scallops at the end of your dress, at the end of the whole entire dress. You can work scallops, or you can work shells just to like have a border design for your project. Okay, and do that anywhere that you want until you have your dress complete. Okay, so let me just take you through what you have to do for the next row. You will chain 5, turn your work. Okay, skip 1, get into the next stitch and work a treble. Okay, chain 1, skip 1, work a treble in the next, chain 1, skip 1, work a treble into the next stitch, and you are going to do this for all the stitches all the way around. Okay, just keep doing this repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly until you have the length of the dress that you desire. I personally worked I think 22 rows from the waistline. I worked 22 rows, but overall from the underbust I have 27 rows on my dress. So just work this until the end, work a slip stitch right there. Now I'm going to meet you at the end of your dress. Okay, now this is what I said, interchanging your colors. As you can see, I have attached white onto orange. So I have 1 strand of orange and 1 strand white. Actually, I need to have 1 strand yellow and 1 strand orange. Okay, so I'm going to change that, but I just wanted to show you guys how you need to play around with your strands. So this is how it will give you that monochromatic effect. So yes, just keep interchanging your strands. This is white, but then I have to be attaching yellow actually, so that it goes all the way from orange, then orange and yellow, then yellow, then yellow and white, then white, you get. So this is what I have to work with. So that is orange and yellow, and you can see that it's giving me that sort of like, you know, if you look closely. So this is how it looks like with the orange and yellow. It's not any different actually, but then later you can see that variation. So if you look closely, this is how my pieces look like. I have worked it in orange, I have worked it in purple, and the purple is a small size, then the orange is a size medium, and then I have the larger size, but I have no dummy for it. So basically you can see the variations of my strands. So thank you so much you guys for watching and purchasing my patterns and always sending me cool stuff. I am really grateful. Bye.